Hello guys, so welcome to the first video of the series of South Punjab Classical Tournament. So this tournament happened last week, it concluded last week in Multan, and I was part of the team that qualified from Islamabad back in 2023. So I was basically the fourth place in Islamabad, and I had an amazing tournament then. I drew an FM there, and yeah, so since the nationals didn't happen in the year 2023, I felt like this was my only chance to kind of redeem myself and go play the tournament and kind of try to gauge my strength, right? Like gauge my strength against players that are outstation, like not from Islamabad. Since I've played like only a handful of people that are out of Islamabad, and all the federated tournaments that happen in Islamabad, I usually only get to play the same faces again and again. So I wanted to kind of gauge my strength against, the rest of the world, like an alien field. So I my first round opponent was Sibt-e-Hassan. I did not know what his strength was, but since this was a masters category and all of the players were very, very strong, like extremely strong, since they were qualified. They qualified through the respective districts, right? From Punjab, from Sindh, from Balochistan, from Kashmir, and so the backstory to this round is that I came very late since I had an exam on Friday. So I left Islamabad at around 4 p.m. and reached Multan at around 1 or 2 a.m. So I really, barely got any rest, and I had to wake up at 7 um, to, get breakfast. And since the rounds were starting at like 8:30 ish. So let's dive into the game now. My opponent started e4. I played c6, the Karakan defense. He played d4, I went d5. He played ed, I played cd. So this is the exchange variation of the Karakan. A lot of beginners really like to play the move e5, which is the advanced variation. And as you can check that from the database, it is the most played move. But ed sort of, transposes into an open game. So he went knight f3, and I played bishop g4, trying to develop my light squared bishop out before playing e6. So he played bishop e2, breaking the pin, and I played e6 now. He played queen d3. Now this move was a bit dubious because this is like an unorthodox move. If you've already played the move bishop here, then playing this does not really make sense. Like it's wasting a move. In this position, queen d3 makes sense. Like if you want to break the pin and you've like not yet developed your kingside pieces and you're like contemplating whether you want to castle kingside or queenside. But in this position, playing queen d3, I think just wastes like a very crucial tempi, as you can see in the later game. So I think the idea behind this was probably to go check, but even then I can block and defend this pawn. So I don't really know what my opponent was thinking here. Anyways, I went knight f6. I was kind of invoking this move now because I wanted to play queen d7 and sort of, go into the end game, even like a queenless middle game, I would suppose. Not really an end game then. So after knight f6, he played bishop g5. I went bishop e7. He castled. I played h6 first before castling, sort of asking a question from this bishop. Does he want to capture? Does he want to go back? So he went back. I castled here. He played bishop g3. Now this was again a second dubious move because the thing is I have not yet invoked with knight e4 and or played g5 that you're going back. So if you're going back unprovoked, then you're kind of making me happy because I've not wasted a tempi basically. So he went back. I played knight e4. He played knight e5 here, which is a mistake. What he should have done is play knight d2, I guess. And after knight d2, I would have taken. So knight d2, I would have captured here. And we would have gotten like this sort of position, which is still worse for white, but I think it was sort of better than what he got in the game. So instead he went knight e5, attacking my bishop. I took here, and I didn't really want to play this move, um, because then I thought, uh, okay, if I take on g3, his queen can capture, and he wouldn't have to double his pawns. So I really wanted him to double his pawns to play the long game and kind of play against his structure. So that's what I took here, which the computer thinks is a mistake because I should have played bishop f5. But now after the queen captures, as you can see, when I take the bishop, he no longer has a queen here to capture the bishop. So now he's forced to double his pawns. And even this I think was the third dubious move. Capturing towards the center is obviously very good, but once he took here, I know it makes sense to open your rook, but as you will see later on in the game, the king is very sort of caged in. So now I played knight c6 immediately, not giving him a chance to kind of double and attack this pawn three times. Immediately I played knight c6 to answer questions from this knight. He played c3 to kind of defend his pawn. He took with the queen. I played queen b6. And now, as you can see, this pawn is really loose here. And there's no good way to defend. Like if you play b3, then this pawn is weak and I can immediately play this move. So he had to go back and defend with his queen. And here I think I played like a very good move here. I thought for almost 7 to 8 minutes here. And the thing is, if I, give him time to develop, like his knight, or, give him time to play b4, b3, I think he can stabilize or even move his king out of the way. If I give him time, then I think he's doing very fine. So I immediately played e5. So the idea of e5 was that primarily he cannot take here, right? Because it's spin. But the thing is, if he takes with the queen, I calculated that after queen takes b2, his knight is sort of trapped, right? If it goes here, I can just take. If it goes here, I can take again. And he has to move his knight because his rook is under attack, right? So he moved his knight. Where did he move his knight? Yeah, no, he did not take. He played another move. Basically, the idea was that after he takes a take, he moves his knight. I can take here, and if he takes, then after takes, now I'm up a pawn. So basically, e5 was the move which, after 5 or 6 combinations, I would have been a pawn up. So that's why I played this move here, e5. He went king h1. I played e4. Now I got a passer, protected passed pawn. And I think from here on, I felt very comfortable that I'm going, I'm now in the lead and I'm gonna steer this game to open. But this was far from a winning position. This was just the start of good things for me. Now he played this. The thing is, his knight cannot move. If he moves his knight here, this pawn hangs. And without this knight moving from the initial square, the rooks are not connected. And this rook is very, very suffocated. And I can play, a very natural moves like a5, rook c8, you know, even f6 or other moves, yeah. So he kind of rushed things and he took. Now, if you see the structure, white now has two pairs of double pawns, which is just disastrous. So immediately I played rook c8. He played rook c1 defending the pawn. Now here I didn't rush. I did have queen a5 here, attacking both pawns, which I kind of looked at for a brief moment. But the thing is, he gets c4 in. And after c4, now my two pawns in the center are just destroyed completely. And this is not what I wanted, right? So Instead of playing that, I played the top engine move, which is rook c4, kind of not allowing c4, and now these pawns get to live, and my structure in the center is not ruined, right? So I kind of took some patience, waited, and played the best move, right? So he played rook b1, I played queen c6, queen b2. Now this pawn is under attack twice. I played b6, defending. Now this pawn is under attack twice, so he defended with rook c1. Now I played the tower of power with all three major pieces stacked together. He played queen f2. Now this pawn is under attack twice, and he wanted to basically give up this pawn for this pawn, but I was not going to lose this f pawn, which was very crucial in my king's safety. So I decided to play rook c7. He played queen f5. Now after queen f5, this pawn is under attack again. If I play takes, this pawn gets lost. So I did not take the pawn. Instead, I played rook takes d4. Now the thing with rook takes d4 is you have to count the number of defenders. This rook only has one defender, whereas the pieces attacking it behind the rook are two. So basically, if we would have taken here, I would have won his rook. So here I took the pawn. He he took the rook, which was basically the only move. He had to accept the sacrifice. I took the rook, and now I'm up a pawn. So he takes the f7 pawn. I take the queen on f7, and here for a brief moment, white and black have equal material. So it does look like that white has sort of solved all of his problems. But the thing is, when I played knight e5 and took here, and took the light squared bishop, which the computer thought was a mistake, the the thing is, the structure of white is so ruined that he has to waste like 2 or 3 tempis in order to get his shit together. So I now have a chance to infiltrate white's second rank and sort of attack these two pawns. And look at the structure. White has two pairs of doubled pawns. This pawn is weak, and my structure is so solid. I have all two pawns that are connect all the three pair of two pawns that are connected, and this is a passed pawn. So all of the moment I played e5, the moment I got e4, all of those things are adding up slowly now in this positional masterpiece. So I played rook f2, attacking this pawn, and the thing is he would love to play rook c7 and do the same here, but this is just mate in one. So he has to waste a move in order to get his king up. So he played h4, I took the pawn here, now I'm up a pawn. He gave me a check on c8, I pulled my king up, he went rook d8, and now I played this move e3. The thing is, you cannot take the pawn. If you take the pawn, I can check you. If you go here, I can push, and now you're not in time because I'm making a queen. So that was the problem. After e3, you cannot take the pawn. So he played king h3. Now he can take the pawn because after this after takes I don't really have a check, right? So he can get back in time. So immediately he took, and the idea behind taking here was I saw a brilliant move, like I calculated a brilliant move 3 moves ahead. So after takes, I played rook a5. Obviously, he wouldn't take because my pawn is closer to queening. And yeah, so I'm just 1 tempi ahead. So he cannot take the rook here. So after rook a5, he played rook d6, and here the brilliant stunning move. Every move basically wins, but this just was like brilliant and just sealed the game immediately. I played rook e5. Wow, what a move, yeah? A spectacular move, rook e5. Even the computer doesn't find it. Let's give the computer some time to depth. Yeah, see, now it finds rook e5 as the best move. This was a brilliant move, yeah, rook e5. Rook e5 I played immediately. This just seals the game. Was the last nail in the coffin. If he takes, I just push, and he's not in time to defend my pawn, and I'm just winning the game completely. So after rook e5, my opponent resigned, and this was just one of the masterpieces of my tournament. And this just goes to show that you can never underestimate players from Islamabad. Thank you for watching, guys.